All right, all right. I ain't gonna be too long. All right, y'all saw the State of the Union address last night. Okay, Biden doubled down on what he stands for, and most of the things that he stand up for, all right, affect black people. And I'll tell you why I say that. I'm gonna finish up this video on YouTube, so I may not get to say what I got to say in 3 minutes, but uh, the LGBTQ, he support that. All right, that affects black people. Homosexuality is spreading through the black community like wildfire. Okay, it cuts against the family structure. All right. The next one is abortion. All right, the biggest aborters in the world right now is black women. That keep our numbers down. Okay, and immigration, immigration, immigration. All right, let's talk about that for a minute. He really addressed his so-called administration, what they have done in the past and what they plan on doing in the future. All right. Um, this is a continuation uh, from my video on TikTok about the State of the Union address. This is a continuation because I couldn't say all I wanted to say in 3 minutes about the State of the Union address. All right. Uh, that happened last night. Um, Biden supports the LGBTQ. All right, he supports that transgenders. If you got a child that playing in sports right now, a girl child, if you have a girl child that's participating in sports right now, she may be competing against a boy because it's legal now that a transgender girl, which is actually a boy, can participate in sports and be identified as a girl since they had a sex change. Well, I don't want to make nobody mad, but right now it's legal because of the Equality Act and the Non-Discrimination Act. The Non-Discrimination Act was put into law by Barack Obama. He basically opened the gates, okay, a whole lot wider for the LGBTQ. All right, then Biden came in after Donald Trump and signed the Equality Act. Okay, see, now let me step back a little further. The Democratic Party have always been a party that discriminated against black folk, all right, directly and indirectly. Lately, they've been discriminating against black people and people of color indirectly, okay? Homosexuality affects black, the lowest population of people, more than it affects whites. White people outnumber black people 4 to 1. Black people make up what, 15% of the population? White folks make up 60% of the population. You crunch the numbers. So homosexuality doesn't affect their race that much because the majority of white folks is straight. They believe in the family structure. That's where they grew up. Okay, the wealth was passed down from one generation to the next, one family to the next. So white folks believe in the family structure. A lot of them don't support, all right, the the LGBTQ in their race. They don't care about it being in your race, hmm, because that's gonna keep your numbers down. Hmm? You're gonna stay around 13.5 to 15%. Hmm? They'll push it, all right, but a lot of them ain't gonna participate in it because they want their numbers to stay at a certain level, which give them power. Yeah, so it don't affect them that much. There are a lot of whites that are member of the LGBTQ. Okay, matter of fact, you can say it might be in mostly all races of people. Hmm? It's in a lot of countries. The only people that really put their foot down on it is uh, the Muslims, okay, and the Saudis, okay. You better not go over there in Iran and Iraq, okay. Two men walking down the street holding a hand and hugging. They'll kill you. They're liable to kill you if they catch you doing that shit over there. Hmm. Go to Saudi Arabia and they see you tongue kissing a man. They're liable to cut your head off. But it's legal in the United States. But who does it affect the most? Black people. Why? Because they're the lowest population of people. I don't know, brother. I told you on a previous video that a friend of mine had had one child, and that's a girl child, and she is a lesbian. And I feel so sorry for her mom because her mom would like to have a grandchild, all right, to see her seed go on. Hmm? Her father is deceased. Hmm? She's the only child. But her mom can't have no grandkids because she's a lesbian. She don't care nothing about no man. She don't bother with no man. Is that not, does that not cut against the family structure? I don't want to make nobody mad now. I represent the House of Common Sense now. Something just common sense now. You got to go to school to understand it. Hmm? Yeah. So homosexuality in the black community further damage the family structure, which is already broken. That's why so many of our young women are having an abortion. The abortion rate among black women is about 34% of the total abortion rate in this country. That's a high. That's high for people that is least in population. Biden's stand on abortion. Who does it affect the most? Black folk. White women having their babies because they want to keep their numbers. They want to keep their numbers at a certain level. Hmm? And most babies that are born white is not born out of wedlock. Most of our black women that are having children nowadays, the child is born out of wedlock. All right. In some cases, that give grounds for an abortion because here the mother know that she can't take care of a child. She don't really, she pregnant, but she don't really see how she can fit this child in her life due to the present situation that she under at the present time. So the child either have to be adopted or aborted. Huh? She don't want to go through the natural pain of having a child because that's a lot of pain. Hmm? Other folks, and she heard other folks talked about it. Okay, you have to go through the pain of get that shot in your spine, which could leave you paralyzed if the doctor make a mistake or if you jump. Hmm? That's why Biden is pissed off with the Supreme Court. All right, he pissed off with the Supreme Court because they overthrew Roe versus Wade. All right, he wanted the Supreme Court to ban, I mean not ban, but legalize abortion all the way across the board. That's what Biden wanted. The Supreme Court basically said we don't want to be bothered with it. Hmm? They should have banned it all the way across the board, but they didn't. They said we're gonna leave it up to the states. If y'all want, hmm, if y'all want uh, 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 to legalize it uh, in in your state, you do so. Hmm? Yeah. Uh, uh, One time, I can say this particular time, the Supreme Court went with the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. Hmm? All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privilege or immunity of citizens of the United States. That's the key right there. So the Supreme Court said, all right, said we can leave it up to the states. If you want to legalize it in your state, you legalize it. If you want to ban it in your state, you ban it. Biden didn't like that. Hmm? He didn't like that. Some state they're gonna ban it. Hmm? They're gonna ban it. They're gonna ban it, and they ain't gonna allow nobody to come from out of another state and come to that state and get an abortion. Mm-mm. If your state don't do it, you better move to a state that does, because we ain't gonna let you come over here and get it done. But see now on the state, a lot of states that legalize it, well, you can have an abortion up to the ninth month. You can even give birth to the baby and still have it aborted under some state laws on abortion. Biden support that. Well, who does it affect the most? Black folk. The Democratic Party is an indirect discriminator. You have to watch it. All right. And last but least, and I'm gonna have to go. Um, this is a continuation video of the one I did on TikTok. All right, and concerning the State of the Union address last night that was made by President Biden. Now, immigration and the border. All right, he stood down on that because he really don't want to stop border crossing. It's a political play for him to get votes. All right, when it's time for re-election, the multicultural will be a large population. Multicultural already uh, almost outnumber blacks 2 to 1. Multicultural makes up about 20% of the population. Well, it affect black folks, yeah, because when the so-called immigrants or migrants come into this country, they got to have a job. They got to have a place to stay. Guess what job they're gonna take? Hmm? Guess what job they're gonna take when they come? Yours. Guess what neighborhood they're gonna move into? They're gonna either have their own neighborhood or they're gonna move into your neighborhood. They're buying up houses, as many houses they can in the black community. But no different what condition it's in. They're gonna either live in it, or rent it. Either way, they're gonna benefit. Buying support, all right, let the folks from other countries come into our country. Yeah, let them walk right on across the border. Come on in. He support DACA. Obama started DACA. See, so systematically, what have 8 years of Obama and 2 years of Biden addressed when it comes down to black folks? And if you want to look at police brutality, because more white police have brutalized black folks than black policemen. This is about the first time I ever heard a black police officers killing somebody. 5 of them at one time. They were stupid. But that's a whole nother subject. Okay, but most of the time it's police brutality is from the white officer. All right, so now the George Floyd crime bill ain't been passed yet. Hmm? Hmm? That's what he promised the family. Huh? Talk to me. That bill ain't been passed yet. You think he pushing to get that bill passed? No. Hmm? You think Congress is going to push to get that bill passed? No. You think Biden cared anything about? You think Biden cared anything about George Floyd or about that situation up there in New York? Hmm? Or about Tyree Nichols? No. You got to understand who Biden is. See, y'all have to understand that sometimes white folks still white folks. Some white folks still white folks. Hmm? They don't basically like you. Huh? Now they had Tyree Nichols' mom and stepdad up there at the, the State of the Union address. All right, but that's about all that they're gonna get. Those 5 guys is all 5 of them going to jail. All right. Hmm? So they'll be a slave, and it'll cost about $50,000 to $60,000 a year to house them. So the government make money. Hmm? Prison camp make money. They provide a job for them. They still benefiting. Hmm? They still benefit. All right, they'll go to jail. They'll get a family some money, and that's gonna be the end of it. Ain't nothing gonna get done systematically like DACA or the Equality Act or the Non-Discrimination Act. Ain't nothing gonna get done for black folks systematically. Now, as far as Ukraine is concerned, you mentioned Ukraine. That he doubled down on that. That they're gonna support. That he gonna support Ukraine as long as it. I mean, basically, he said he gonna support Ukraine to the end. Yeah. Hmm? When you got folks in this country can hardly put food on the table because prices have rose so high since he been president. Since he been president, the prices sky high. I mean, they went up, fuel and everything. All right, kerosene, damn, that's what, $6 a gallon. I remember kerosene was about a nickel a gallon. Now it's the highest fuel you can buy. Why? Because people found a way they could heat off of it. All right, but billions is going over there to Ukraine. Why? Because Biden had deals with Ukraine, and him and his son made a lot of money over there in Ukraine. So he's gonna protect Ukraine. He's gonna protect his assets. Can you blame him? Since he's president, all right, the only people that can cut him off is Congress. Congress can say, look, no, no more. Yeah. So he's gonna stand on Ukraine regardless of how this country suffer. Okay. I mean, wages in this country is not compatible with the cost of living and surviving. I think we've done enough for Ukraine. There's some of them other countries do something. Yeah, we didn't give out. Hmm? Now, Social Security. He spoke on Social Security. All right. The Democrats would like to cut Social Security, and they're going to cut Social Security. All right. The only thing that's holding Social Security up is white folks. So many white folks have worked all their lives on these big time jobs, never draw no unemployment, had a job all their life. Well, now it's time for them to draw Social Security. They paid in. See, white folks have always had good jobs. Hmm? I remember that as a little boy. They had the best jobs, or either they owned the farm. So they paid in a lot of Social Security. See? I remember the time when uh, black folks couldn't work for Yalla, ABF, Wilson. Couldn't get a job there. If you got a job there, it was a shit job. It was a job that the white boys didn't want to do. Okay? Most of the time when they started hiring black people on these jobs, uh, in many cases, it was a job that the white boys didn't want to do. Yeah. So right now, jobs here, they ain't paying, they're not compatible with the cost of living. So under the Biden administration, everything went up. Look like we are reaping the sacrifice. Look like we're sacrificing for what's going on in Ukraine. Because prices, everything's steady going up, getting higher and higher. Hmm? So he showed his dress tail in the State of the Union address. All right. Now, some Social Security will be cut. And I advise a lot of y'all to get your job and start paying into Social Security. All right. Them jobs on the table, you better put a lot of that money back. For when you get old and you want to draw Social Security, all right, you can only get out what you put in. I know some people ain't getting but $500 a month Social Security. They in bad shape, but they can't work. They don't get $500 a month because they ain't never worked nowhere. They had that little job to pay down the table. They hustler. They were hustlers. They didn't want to pay no taxes. They wanted to keep all the money, and they did. But now they need money because they can't work it and get no money. So they tried to apply for Social Security. And they check and look at them numbers. They don't see no numbers on them, or very little. So they ain't gonna give you no more than about $300 to $500. I know some people ain't getting but three. Yeah. Well, why? Well, you ain't work nowhere. All right. So I'm thinking that a lot of Social Security is gonna get cut. People that ain't really did, at least 5 to 10 years worth of sturdy work. They might cut your shit off or cut it down, but you ain't put nothing in the system. Hmm? So right now, Social Security is gonna be fine. Hmm? Because there are more white people doing Social Security than there are blacks. Because they've always had the better jobs. Hmm? They've always got paid more to do that job than they would pay somebody of color. See, that's why they want the immigrants in here. Hmm? So you can pay them less because they're not used to making that kind of money. Even paying them less than what you're paying people now. Hmm? They'll be glad to get $10 an hour when they had to work all week to get that in their country. They'll be glad to get $10 an hour to them. Man, $10 an hour to them, they're coming from a country where they didn't make but $10 a week. They'll be happy as a country hall eating up town slop. Yeah. So that job that paying $20 an hour now, they can get that job done for $10 an hour, half that much. That fella come across the border. Hmm? And he work wide open just about all day long. Won't take but 30 minutes for lunch. Hmm? But he family origin. Hmm? They'll get a house my size. Okay, my house is 3 bedroom, bath and a half. Okay, kitchen, living room, and den. Okay, nice front porch. All right, a house like that, shoot, they have 3 or 4 families living together, and they pitch in and do what they got to do. They work together. They have unity, so they can survive. We we don't want nobody staying with us, but they got a goal, huh? There's 10 of them living in that house. Hmm? and they're making $10 an hour and working 10 hours, that's $100. You got 10 of them in that house, that's $1,000 a day. Man, that's man, they're happy. I ain't lying. They're happy as a country hall, huh? Eating uptown slop. I'm trying to tell you now. See? Yeah. See? That's why he don't want to, halfway. He just putting up enough effort. Hmm? He said he's going to increase border personnel. Okay, he didn't say border enforcement. Hmm? He said personnel. Okay. Now, who is personnel? Huh? He didn't say I'm gonna stop folks from crossing the border. He didn't say that. He said he would increase personnel. So he down with. He actually down with people coming across the border, and they're coming by the thousand. All right. Who do you think that's going to affect? Why do you think he support that? Hmm? If black people don't watch out, and I'm just giving y'all heads up now. Your race will be extinct in the next 30 to 50 years. Hmm? Your population won't increase; it may decrease. And everything Biden supports the decrease. If y'all really understand his his union of address, so basically I understood that before he got this and I spoke because I've been watching him ever since he been president. Hmm? Systematically, nothing is going to change for black folks. What black folks won't change, they have to change it themselves. And in order for a change to start, black people have to come together and get on one accord. Well, that can't go in motion until black people develop more love for each other. See, everything starts from the word love. If black people start loving their people, crime will automatically cease. But you don't commit a crime against folks that you love. See, love can conquer all things. Love and negative don't get along. See, if I love you, I'm not gonna do anything negative towards you. See, until that happens, we as black people will always want others to do for us what we can do for ourselves. See, if we love one another, we wouldn't sell each other meth, fentanyl, molly, flakka, cocaine. If we love one another because we know the destruction of that. See, if we start loving one another, the things that we have that is destructive among our people will cease. Yeah. And the white man can't bring that to us. He's not going to bring that to us. It's something we have to create in ourselves. How you expect him to love you and you don't love yourself. Biden ain't worried about what happened to Tyree Nichols. He ain't really concerned about that. Your own people did you like that. We ain't do that to you. Your own black policeman done that to you. Hmm? Yeah, you get a little bit of money because they were policemen. You get a little bit of money, but if they hadn't been policemen, you wouldn't have gotten their quarter, and there wouldn't have been no riot. There wouldn't have been no marching if they hadn't been policemen. So you think Biden's concerned about Tyree Nichols? No, he ain't really concerned about that. He just invited the parents. They were glad to go. At the first time they ever been to the Capitol. Hmm? Yeah, they wanted to go. They wanted to go to be showcased, but white folks don't really care nothing about that. But there were 5 black men that whip up on a black man. That's your shit. Ain't ours. Hmm? We might give you a little bit of money for the loss of life, but that's your thing. We ain't got to do nothing. Hmm? Those were black police officers. That wasn't really police brutality. That was some hate that they had in them toward their own kind. That's where they're looking at it in Washington. Hmm? Don't let's see the Democratic Party are always trying to hoodwink. Hmm? And it is a reflection on black folk. Hmm? As a black police officer on another black man, you should be trying to protect me. If anything, hmm? I mean, you still the same thing. You're a police officer, but as far as the majority, as far as white supremacy is concerned, you still a nigga. Hmm? Because if I was a white boy, y'all was beating up on, and that happened, all hell would break loose. All hell would have broke loose. Hmm? And them five police officers would never get out of jail. So Biden ain't gonna, the George Floyd bill, George Floyd crime bill, whatever you call it, it ain't happened yet. How long George Floyd been dead? Hmm? And they had it in plain view. People was even recording it. How this white boy's had his knee on George Floyd's neck. And had him handcuffed. Yeah, now they call that police brutality. Why? Because the cop was white. But they don't beat up. If they had been a white boy, they wouldn't have killed him, rather than George Floyd. So some white folks still white folks. Hmm? They don't care if they got to go to jail. They'll still kill a black man. But this situation with Tyree Nichols is different. You got five black men. It's basically kill a black man. Hmm? That's not racial. That's not police brutality. They just happen to be police officers, but basically what it is, the root of that is hate towards your own. Yeah, you're supposed to be protecting him. You want to, yeah, arrest him for the crime so he can be penalized. Hmm? Rather than killing him for whatever crime he committed. If you think he's a criminal and he need to be arrested, the arrest is for him to be apprehended and held until court, till he go in front of a judge. You can't execute him right there on the side of the road. You can't be the judge and the executor. See, that was a black thing, a black against black thing. Hmm? I couldn't do my worst enemy like that. To be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I might would give him a good ass cutting, but he wouldn't die from it. I didn't give a person a good ass whipping before. They didn't die from it. Hmm? You can give a person a good ass cutting without killing, if that's just what you want to do. If you didn't like the guy, or you thought the guy was sleeping with your girlfriend or whatever it was, or bust him upside the head a couple of times, slapped him, you know. Yeah, I mean, but don't kill him. Yeah. So the State of the Union address, Biden basically showed his hand. All right, and he got a lot of boos and interruption. Yeah, wasn't real. It wasn't really. It was all right, but I mean, it wasn't that much to go home and tell mom, daddy about. The State of the Union address. The majority of it, okay, was basically the power of white supremacy. Hmm? And it was sort of a political move. Because Biden right now is thinking about re-election. Hmm? Yeah, he want to remain president. And most presidents do. This will be his first term. Yeah. Now, is he capable of being a president another 4 years? Y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't want to even say what I think because I don't want to make nobody mad. Now, I'm gonna close with this. We had the spy balloon. Hmm? They say it was a spy. They say that it was from China and it was spying on the United States. All right. China claimed the shit got away from them and they couldn't control it. Okay. And he was just roaming around. They were trying to figure out a way to get it, make it come back, whatever. Okay. All right. Now you don't let nothing fly over your country. You don't know what it is. You know if it came from China. All right. They're out of order. They need to keep that shit in their damn airspace, not ours. Once that shit came over in our airspace, uh-uh, no. They don't get to roam around for days at a time. No. Donald Trump would have brought that thing down the first day. Time it cross over, we're gonna catch it, bring it down and see what it is, or either blow it out of the sky. And we ain't blow it out of the sky in water. We're gonna blow it out of the sky in land because we gonna find out what that shit is. We don't want no water hitting it. Biden shot it down over water. Now you got to go down at the bottom of the sea and collect whatever evidence you can. All right, but the fish ain't done carry off. Hmm? You supposed to knock that shit down all over land. But this is the kind of president. This kind of president we got. He has to process stuff. All right. All right. You know, you're scared to bring it down to a certain extent. I can understand him feeling that way because it could have a virus in it. They might have wanted us to shoot it down so it could release the virus. You never know. But regardless, all right, you got to bring it down to catch it. You got to bring it down. But you're going to go up there and catch it and bring it down, or you shoot it down. You don't let it roam around. So the State of the Union address basically address the future of this country for the next year, or the next 2 years. Because re-election is 2024, and he'll run in the 2025. Y'all wanted Biden over Trump, all right? If you ask me, all right, I think that we would have been in better shape. I think the country would have been in a whole lot better shape if we had Trump. That's just all I say about that. I don't want to make nobody mad. I know y'all gonna drag me on this, but Trump was pro-life. Biden is pro-choice. Him and Kamala. Obama was pro-choice. Clinton, pro-choice. They support abortion, but who does it affect the most? Mhm. Indirect discrimination. They supported homosexuality. that support the LGBTQ, and that support, well, the transgender in there too. The worst thing can happen to a country when it's hard to identify gender. And it's becoming this way in this country. All right, it's close to that. It's hard to identify gender. You think you're flirting with a woman and you're flirting with a man. Hmm? Yeah. You think you smooching on a man as a woman and you're smooching on another woman. Huh? You think that's a little girl, but that's actually a boy. Hmm? You think that's a boy? No, that's actually a girl. The Democratic Party supports that. If you're a Democrat, you support that. Hmm? I'm just saying now. All right. It's hard for me to respect you as a Christian, and you claim to be a Democrat. I won't make nobody mad. Hmm? It's hard for me to respect you as a Christian, and you claim to be a Democrat. Hmm? See? And I'm gonna close with this. I know I said I was gonna close, but I said close twice. All right, but I got something else to say. We have left God out of the. We have left God out of the picture. We've taken God out of the equation. This world has become a world that we really don't reference God. You never hear the president say, and if God give us strength, and if God bless us, or at the end of this speech, you always say, and may God bless America. All right. But how God is going to bless America when America is so corrupted? God don't bless no mess. America is falling apart due to sin and corruption. You want God to bless America? Well, America behavior have to come different, be different, and it starts with government. If the government is wicked, so will the people. Hmm? If you don't raise your child right, your child will be corrupt. That's why our children is like they are now. Why? Because the parents. You got corrupt parents, disrespectful parents. So you got the same type of kids. The limb don't fall from the tree. Hmm? The fruit don't fall from the tree. Or they might roll off a little piece, but they'll stop. This country is not. This country been blessed, right? But we have misused the blessing. Yeah, this is a blessed country. But will the blessing continue to be? Hmm? A lot of time when the windows of heaven open now, it's destruction. Look at Texas, with sheet of ice in many places. Hmm? Look at New Hampshire, way up there on the other side of Maine, in that area. I think somebody said it was 100 degrees below zero. Man can't survive in that kind of cold. Hmm? It's hard to survive in that kind of cold. But hope you gas and stuff don't run out. So America is not being blessed. Hurricanes, tornadoes, storms. Okay, whole cities getting flooded out. Well, some of y'all say man has the ability to alter the weather. Well, if that's true, why would you cause it to wipe out a whole neighborhood? People getting killed, the house get tore up, and they got to start all over again. If you got that control, why would you use it recklessly? See, you got to understand if y'all want God to continue to bless America, hmm, you need to address God in the State of the Union address. Hmm? I ain't heard it one time last night mention God in his speech. He never said, "Well, God have given me the strength." Hmm? Hmm. So the State of the Union address, it wasn't all of that. Hmm? But I hope y'all know, especially y'all black folks. I hope y'all know and understand. Hmm? That there wasn't nothing on the table for you.